Namaste and welcome to this little short video tutorial kind of thing. My name is Stine and this video is an invitation to look at your practice and look at some of the defaults and the habits we tend to do. In this video I want to talk a bit about the stability in some of the postures. And focus more about stability over mobility, because something that I have experienced in my own practice, and I see a lot of yoga practitioners do this as well, especially when we have a long practice behind us, is that we get so super flexible, and we just keep on stretching, and it feels good to stretch, but we don't work safely in the postures. And so this I'll focus on how we can create integration and move stability before flexibility. So there's no need for being super flexible if you cannot hold your own body, and there's no reason for being super strong if you cannot move your body. So we need this balance in between these two, stability and flexibility. So I'll look at some of the postures that we see quite often, and what I see quite often done in a way where we try to force more mobility in instead of looking at the stability. And I have personally found that when I work and I focus on the stability and the muscle integration first, it helps me into a deeper and more satisfying stretch of my body. So creating the mobility, creating the strength, and then going into the stretch. I've also found that even though that I'm flexible, that I don't need to go as deep into the postures if I actually work with my body, if I activate them. So this is some of the things that I'll just invite you to look at in your practice, to get more out of the stretch and work safer with your body, so that you are stretching your muscles rather than stretching your tissues in your joints. Yes. So I'll begin by looking at the low lunge position, Anjali Asana. And what I often see here is that people are hanging out here, maybe even here, which is taught some places, and I know, and this may or may not be taught for specific reasons. And I can easily hang out here, but for me, this is actually not comfortable. I feel a compression in my lower back, and I feel like I'm overstretching my thigh in a way that's not really comfortable. So what I like you to do, and if you've been to my class, you've probably seen and heard me do this quite a lot. So what we'll do here, and you can do it with me, you can come into this low lunge position. Moving, so what we're going to do when we end here is that we're going to move the front thigh a bit backward. So we're almost like coming a bit out of the posture, moving the hip a bit backward. Good. Make sure that the front foot is really active. So we're taking the front thigh a bit backward. At the same time we do that, moving the back leg a bit front. See if you can neutralize your hips so they are on one line, to side of the hip. Okay. From here, I like to just like lift my hip a bit and then take the tailbone down. And I move the tailbone down, and I move the tailbone down, and I move the front of the ribs in. So I create a good strong container in the bottom. The front leg is super active. I keep moving the front thigh a bit backward, taking the tailbone down and the front of the ribs in. Okay. So now I look like someone really rounding in my spine, and I don't want to do that, but I keep the foundation, the bottom strong, And then I begin to lift my chest and take the shoulder blades to the back. And then I extend my arms up. Okay. And then I keep this. I keep my hip and my lower back strong, the abdominal strong. And then I can begin, just slowly begin to move the back leg, so the back thigh, a bit more forward and down. And right here, right now, is a really good stretch from my front of the thigh. It feels like it's in my muscle. It feels like it's active, and I'm enjoying this stretch. Actually, even if this is super hard for me, I enjoy this stretch much more than I do when I'm down here. So we'll do it to the other side so you can see it once again. You're welcome to do it with me. If you were in the posture, please shake your legs and then take the opposite foot front. So keep a hip width distance between your feet. It'll give you a greater balance. Spread the toes on the front foot and then move the thigh a bit backward, move the hip a bit backward. And actually actively try to take, so right now I have right leg in front of me. I actively try to take the right side of the hip a bit down. The left side of the hip a bit up so they're more squared. Taking the tailbone down. Good. Taking the front ribs in, hand up. And then to make this pose even more active, I try to squeeze the left knee and the right heel towards each other. So I'm really like trying to create a good foundation. Lifting up. Keeping the right foot strong, maybe begin to go a bit deeper, but keep trying to like suck your feet in towards each other. Tailbone down, front ribs in, heart lifting. Corners of the mouth are going up. We are enjoying this here. But keep breathing. Yes. Good. So, you can come out of the posture, shake the legs a bit. So, this idea about creating a strong foundation will not only help in the physical practice, but it will also help in our lives, that we keep ourselves contained. I'll show you one more lunge position. This idea can be adapted into all posture that we go into, that we try to hold ourselves together and then expand. Hold ourselves together and then stretch. If your knees are sensitive, you can always use a blanket or fold the mat in. We'll do lizard pose, which is one of the posture I most regularly open my own classes with when I practice or when I teach, because it's a great hip opener. And the same rules are applied when I teach here. So this is where we have one foot on the outside of the hand. Now we're starting with left leg. So we take the left foot to the outside of the left hand. I keep my back foot flexed, then I have more control. And I begin in the posture on my fingers or on the palms of the hands. I do the same here. I pull myself a bit out of the position. So I take the left thigh a bit backwards, so the hip is lifting and getting square. I'm trying to hold this, so I'm trying to hold the left thigh is going backward, lifting the heart forward, and then I can begin to move the right thigh a bit further forward and down. And then when I'm in my max, this can either be here or here, but wherever I am, I try to keep my heart going forward. So heart is always going forward. And to keep the strength in this position, you can squeeze the left heel and the right knee towards each other. And you really feel like your muscles in the hip joint is activating. Okay. And the front foot is turning a bit out. I don't think I said that before. So we keep squeezing inward and then lifting up from the heart. You can come out of the pose very slowly, just like shake your legs a bit. And then we'll do the same on the other side, just to go over it once again. So this is the same principles. The principles are we make a muscle energy, we make a muscle activation. So here it is that I move my right thigh a bit backward, squeezing the right heel backward, so I really feel like the leg is working. Moving the heart forward and then coming in, expanding into the posture. And then when I'm hanging out in my maximum, whether it's on my forearm, and especially if you're one of those going to your forearm in this posture, squeeze the right heel back and the left knee forward, just to really feel the muscles. We don't want to collapse. Like I always, you can come out of the posture if you're in it. In real life, I don't want to be a person that's collapsing. I want to be a person that have a strong foundation, strong mind and a strong body. So I try to move that into my physical practice as well, that practicing being stable, practicing having a strong foundation, it gives stability to the mind. Okay. One last repetition. We'll do a high lunge position. So I'm going to begin with my left foot again forward so you can see what I'm doing. Keeping the legs straight, you can not straight, strong, you can just come up. We want to have a hip width distance between the feet. This is giving us a better balance. You can see my balance is not the best right now. So in this position, there's more ways to work with these muscles and integration. One way is to bend the back leg. From here we again take the front thigh a bit backward and down. And then I take the tailbone a bit down in front of the ribs in. And then I begin to re-straightening the back leg. So I try to keep the hips squared. And then I lift up as high as possible from the back leg and lowering into the front leg. Keep taking the tailbone down and lift the heart. Maybe extend your arms up. So this is the whole idea about moving the front leg a bit backward, back leg forward. Pressing the feet down, so instead of collapsing, because this is not comfortable for me, and I think if you try the other way, this will probably not be comfortable for you either. So instead of collapsing into the posture, we try to keep the posture like a bit vibrant. We're really pressing the feet down and using our legs. We got good muscles on the leg, they're supposed to be used. Taking the tailbone down, lower ribs in. I even play around rolling the inside of the back thigh a bit up, so the inside of the left leg up here. Squaring the hip, keeping it strong, and then we can begin to maybe just lower a bit. Keep pressing the feet down. And slowly come out if you're in the posture. So I know this might be very different from what you used to practice, or maybe you are used to this and just need a refresher of it, but I hope it's giving you inspiration and some ideas to play around with the postures and creating more strength and stability in them. I hope you're having a fun time playing around the postures, and I hope to see you soon and practice with you soon at NOR. Take good care. Namaste.